Hey everyone, I'm Samad, a podcast host and a creator who wants to break every single stigma and stereotype that exists in the world that we live in. I believe we can do so by actually talking about it, having a respectful and a meaningful conversation. So, right now, I'm on the third season of my podcast, Perception 101, The Journey Aiming Wrong or Right, where I'm talking to people who have opted for unorthodox and unconventional careers and made something great out of it. So, if you want to check out my previous work, there are a few links that I have written down on the description below. Go check them out and give me a follow on various social media platforms and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So, taking the name of your partner after getting married. There has been this tradition around the world where the female partner has to take the surname of the male partner after getting married. But we as a generation have actually started questioning these old norms, and I think there has been a lot of changes in the beliefs and ideologies in this context. So I really wanted to ask this question to my peers and friends that would you take your partner's name after getting married? If yes, why? If no, why? And here are their opinions. So, would you take your partner's name after getting married? If yes, why? If no, why?
I honestly don't have a problem with taking my partner's surname or changing my surname with his, but on the condition that if he's willing to do the same. So the thing that matters to me is how committed I am to him or how committed he is to me. And changing surname is just an expression of your commitment to the other person, right? So honestly, I don't have a problem with it. If he's willing to do the same, I can also add his surname or change mine with his. But in today's society, we all know that like our parents being most of the families being so conservative that they aren't willing to do let the son, even if he's willing to do it, they aren't very supportive of the son's changing the surname decision. So obviously that wouldn't be the case, but I think that we should all just keep our surnames because it will also mean that our children will get to have two surnames and they can just build their own identity, and they can choose whatever surname they want to take. They can take their own they can take their own rituals and adopt the religion that they want to, that they really suffice with. So yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. But if such a situation arises where I don't have an option, I would just let the person go because like I need to have options in my life. So
Yes, I would take his last name. It's a personal choice. It is not necessary to do it, but yes, I would like to because for me, it would be more like a gesture to show that I'm all into that relationship and I'm committed to that person. And also, I will not want to leave my last name also because it's who I have been in the past years of my life, and that is my identity also. If I'm starting a new life, I'm not leaving one behind. For me, it's not that. For some women, it is that, when you get married, you start a completely new life and you forget your past life. But no, for me, it's not that. So I'm taking my identity and adding a new one to it. That is what my personal choice would be.
I think I will take his name after marriage, but I'd not expect, but I would be really happy if he takes my name as well. So if right now I'm Aarti Pandey, then Aarti Pandey X would be my name, and his name would also be XY Pandey. So yeah, that way I'd be happy. But honestly, I would not expect because see, eventually we're growing up in a society where it's not very easy to just change norms and everything. It will happen, yes, from our generation maybe, but still I think it will be gradually and slowly and not just ek din mein.
Actually, what I think is it's someone's free will to take the name or not. Like I have seen this in our Indian culture that the female partner has to take their male partner's last name or even the first name. So mostly I've seen it the last name only, and I have never seen any male partner, like maybe there are a couple of cases, but I have never heard of one, or I have seen in my family or relatives or friends. So I have only seen the female partners taking the male partner's name. And what I think is that we should not impose these things. It's someone's identity. Like it's your name, it's your identity. And if you are willing to change it, that's okay. But if someone is imposing it on you, I feel that is wrong. And if like, even if we see it as a consent, like we think that the female partner, they're thinking, we make that thinking like that it's okay, only you have to do that, like this is the system and this is normal. But I don't think this is normal, and I think that it should be someone's free will, and it should be like that only. And for me, if I will take their name or not, I think I'll decide that after that situation comes.
Taking my partner's name, like, it's not a pre-decided thing, but it has two pros and cons. Like, taking your partner's name somehow reduces your importance in society, which I feel is, like, since birth you build up an image of yourself that I am known by the name of Charu Agarwal, and suddenly I change my surname like Charu to someone XXX. So it somehow in the society people might not recognize me because I am here building myself, building my name, brand identity. Obviously, like, companies build their brand names, we are building our names. So that is something which I feel like कि ऐसा कोई obligation नहीं होना चाहिए कि you have to change your surname. But हाँ, completely at the other point, I also completely understand and respect those people that जो अपना surname change करते हैं. So it's a kind of कि दोनों चीज़ है. You cannot say this is right or that is wrong. We have to respect each other कि हाँ ठीक है. Just not like, if you deny taking the surname of your partner, that doesn't say that you're a stubborn person. Or on the other hand, it's not like you don't love that person. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Taking my partner's name is, I don't feel any harm in that. But till my point, like till the time when I'll get married and there's a time that I need to take a decision, it's completely spontaneous. It completely on that state of mind what I'm gonna do. So it's not something like कि मैंने सोच के रखा है. I haven't planned anything, but I don't have problem in taking or not taking. It's completely, and I think this should be my personal decision, not influenced by anyone else.
Personally, I believe I wouldn't be taking my partner's name post marriage. Reason being, I believe that every individual has a fair choice to make whether they want to choose a particular name or not. In my case, I am not going to take someone else's name, and I do not expect the other person to take it on a compulsory basis also. I believe it's a fair choice made to the other individual whether or not they wish to choose that particular name or not. And I have a very strong feeling that a name should not be defining a particular relationship. There is much more to fuel growth, collaboration, when two partners are together, and a name should not be a defining point, which I believe the society is trying to accept in the coming few days, and there will be a massive change in the coming few years. That's the only thing I believe for now, and I think it's a fair choice to be provided to the individual whether they wish to choose a particular name or not. There's no harm in taking a particular name. If someone is willing to take a XYZ name post marriage, that's completely fine. And if someone is not comfortable, I think it's a choice which is to be made by the individual.
If I can take my partner's name, why can't he take my name? If the girl is ready to take the name, even he should be ready to take the girl's name. Though it's the common tradition that has been for so long that the girls take up the partner's name after marriage, but this can be vice versa also.
Would you take your partner's name after getting married? Why or why not?
To be honest, I do not want to take up my partner's name because at the first thing is that I want to give up on my own surname. So even if I plan on to have a partner sometime in future, I would not like to take anybody's surname because I just want my name. I feel like that's my identity. I want to keep only the name. There's only one reason. If there's no surname, you don't get to know the religion. You don't get to know the caste. So no taking partner's surname, and whatever surname I have, I'm planning on to give up on that.
That's an interesting question. I think I have never been asked. But yeah, I would give you a slightly longer answer to that. I would not give you a very straightforward answer. So my thought about marriage is only very different, I think, from what the mainstream narrative is around marriage. सो मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे लिए मैरिज का कमिटमेंट जो है और जो अब मैं अपने पार्टनर को कमिटमेंट देती हूँ वो बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंट नहीं है. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई डोंट बिलीव इन द फंडामेंटल ऑफ मैरिज, व्हिच इज आल्सो वेरी लिमिटिंग, वेरी पेट्रियार्कल इन इट्स आइडिया, इन इट्स फंडामेंटल्स. तो अगर मैं मैरिज की ओर बढ़ रही हूँ, इसका मतलब मुझे बहुत सारे कॉम्प्रोमाइजेस भी कर सकते हैं, बहुत सारे लिमिटेशंस आ जाएंगे, एंड सोशली आल्सो प्लस लीगली देयर विल बी लिमिटेशंस, नॉट जस्ट इन द आइडिया ऑफ इट, यू नो. और मेरा जो लाइफस्टाइल है, मेरा जो चॉइस है टुवर्ड्स रिलेशनशिप्स, it's how do I say it? It's polyamorous. It's like I believe in having multiple attractions and multiple connections, deeper connections with people, and multiple commitments. So legally तो obviously उसमें restrictions and limitations आ ही जाएगा, and also socially there might be different perspective towards this idea. And that's why I think कि मेरा marriage के towards idea जैसे one man one woman thing, which is also again very heteropatriarchal and not just patriarchal. इस वजह से भी मैं शायद डिटेस्ट करती हूँ कि मुझे that is my choice of not being in that zone. And title वाला चीज I think again it nowhere makes sense to me because मैं शादी ही नहीं कर रही हूँ अगर तो again that the idea कि आप शादी कर रहे हो तो you have to take that title, you have to take that surname, but again it depends on the individual's choice and a lot of agency as well within the marriage. But yeah, like अगर मैं socially जिस तरीके से चल रहा है उस norm में अगर देखूं तो शायद मुझसे expect किया जा सकता है कि मैं अपने partner का surname लूं, which is again like necessarily a male name. So yeah, coming to the straight answer to it, like I don't think I can I would like to be renamed to somebody else's surname which I have not lived with, because I don't associate with that name, associate with that title. I have lived my entire life with this name, till I'm living. And जब मैं शादी करने का अगर कभी सोचा भी, for a chance, let's consider that, I would not associate with that surname and name. So why do I take it? It's as simple as that.
Would you take your partner's name after getting married? If yes, why? If no, why?
I've always wondered, like, why do people interchange names after getting married? Like, why is it a thought that I have to take my partner's name or my partner has to take my name? Is it a ritual which has been going on for years, or is it a tradition, or is it just which we follow that our ancestors have been doing, so we should also continue doing it? But I really don't think so. In terms of taking names, like, I think it's completely like, if by going by the traditions which says that in my case, when my wife gets married, she supposedly will be asked to take my surname after getting married. But in my scenario, I would never force her. If she wishes to take it, I would happily welcome her. If she says that no, I don't want to, I'll welcome her. I'll welcome that decision of hers as well, and I'll be completely open to her. And maybe if she says me, why don't you take my name? I would never say that no. I'll give a thought to that as well. But currently, I don't have a straightforward answer or a direct answer to this question that would I take my partner's name or not. But obviously, I'm open to discussions and open to whatever opinion she has or whatever discussion she has. And obviously, there's also a current trend where people take in both the surnames of theirs and their partners. So I would be happy to take that as well. So it's completely something which I would like to discuss with my partner before going forward with it, and not going by the traditions which have been going on.
I don't think I'll be able to adopt only her name after marriage. I don't think I'll be able to easily let go of my surname, which is a part of my identity that I connect with. What I think I would be capable of is both of us being able to adopt each other's surnames into our identities, which is something I find comforting to each of us, I guess.
So personally, I think it depends, because as I have mentioned earlier as well, that a lot of cultures allow the man to take the woman's name. What if I get married to somebody who's from that culture? Maybe I do get married to somebody and I'm so excited and I'm like on a different level, like my individuality goes to a different level, then maybe I will take the name. But like, considering right now, I think my bias is always towards a hyphenated surname. Like, let's say my mom and my dad, they both had the same surname even before they got married, so they did not have to go through the same thing. So when I asked her, like when I got your message, she was like, I don't know, but I don't think I would have, because convenient nahi hota hai itna, matlab procedure karna padta. That was her reply. So my mom is, her feminism and individuality is also depending on her convenience. But if you ask me, I think this requires communication within the partners. Okay, whoever I get married to, or if I get married to, I need to talk to that person. Like, how would they feel if I take their name? Would they want me to take? And if it's something that I'm willing to do, then sure. If it's something I'm not willing to do and I'm willing to compromise, or like do a little bit, then a hyphenated surname. But yeah, preferably a culture where the guy can take my name. Super cool. So I think that's my take. But yeah, currently I don't know. It depends on my partner. Like, I'll tell you something. It's like when we were kids and we developed that first crush, and it's always like, let's say some senior, very hot senior in school, or somebody who's like really good looking. We saw them on TV or in movies or anywhere. There is a very high chance, like as girls, I can tell you, like as a girl, I used to just write his name, and then like yahan pe my name used to stand and here his surname. So that used to become like a thing. So apparently this was something, I feel that it's genetically, in us. Like every girl I know, they must have done it, because even I did it. I was I had a major tomboy phase going on, and that time, let's say if any guy, I would write my name and his surname beside me. It never occurred to me until somebody pointed it out. Why are you so excited to take that name? Why don't you like your name? And the person who pointed it out was my mom. And I'm like, huh? You took dad's name? And then mom was like, no, my surname was this only. And that's how my thought process just changed entirely as a very young class 9 student. I'm like, shit, I never thought this is a possibility. So I think when people around you, instead of forcing ideas or forcing rituals, if they start basically asking, like, do you really want to do this, or you're doing it because it's done like this, that's the time people will become like, if not with you, with themselves, for a very small amount of time, they'll become dead honest. And that's what matters as a society. I think that's what we need to start doing.
Okay, so Samad, my perspective to this is, like, I would happily take my partner's name after marriage, because like, as I have been in a relationship for so long, and like we maybe continue, yes, we will continue, and after we get married, it's like a commitment from my end that I will be giving it to him. Like, it's to solidify the relationship that we had and we gonna have in the future.
I don't really see any point in either changing my name or asking my partner to change her name, because I frankly don't see any reason to do that. Whatever her name is or whatever my name is, I mean, she and I both have been since the day we were born. This is how we have been called. This is our identity. So, well, if somebody wants to do it voluntarily, like I've seen some. I can tell you some names of some celebrities like Priyanka Chopra, or some other people, like I think her name is Sophie Turner, who is also a relative of Priyanka. So they have added Jonas as an additional name. Aishwarya Rai has added Bachchan as, maybe they do it out of love, or because they want to respect some custom or tradition. I think that's someone's personal choice. If somebody wants to do that, then I also have no objection to that. But to ask somebody to follow some sort of a tradition, and asking them to adopt a name, even if you know that they don't want to do it, I don't think that is the right thing to do. Somebody, whoever is willing to do it, is free to do it. It's more about, I think, relationships, marriages, and bondings. Everything is more about living your life the way you want to, sharing what you have, sharing love. You shouldn't really force somebody to do something which they don't want to. Even if you're married to somebody, the point why you are married is because you want companionship, you want partnership, you want to share the love that you have. You want to live a better life. Maybe for some people, people don't really feel like getting married because that's their choice. They don't. But then those who do, it's about companionship, and then doing anything which is going to impact the freedom of the other person. For example, if you force them to adopt the name and then they succumb to that, and then they adopt the name which they don't really want to. I don't think that's the right thing to do, because then you are making somebody choose certain things which they don't want to, and that's curbing someone's freedom. That's curbing someone's right to exercise their choice. So that's not the right thing to do, and I personally feel that I don't really see any point in doing this. I don't want to. I'll personally tell you, I don't want to adopt someone's name, or neither I want her to adopt my name. It's their choice. If at all I feel in the future that I should adopt, if out of love or for some other reason, then I will. But I don't want any kind of pressure to be put on her or on mine.
With the girl. So even if I get a crush on a guy, the first thing I do is imagine my name with his surname. So that's the first thing I do. Okay, not kidding. So I'm always like, Roshni this, nice. Roshni this. Oh no, that's not sounding cool. But thinking about it seriously, like if you actually ask me like about marriage, that's a far-fetched thing for now, like in my life. So I'm not really in depth thought about it that much. But if I do, I think I would not completely want to give up my surname after marrying somebody, because all throughout my life I've been known as Roshni. So that's who I am. That's my identity. I was born in that family. My school, friends, college, office, post-graduation, everybody knows me like that. So just because of a new relationship in my, not to underestimate the power of marriage or something, not to offend anyone, but just because something changed, I can't change my whole life, that whole identity. Right? But I also respect the fact that, after getting married, you're going into somebody else's family. So a lot of people wear their surnames as a badge of honor, and which they should. They wear it as a badge of honor. I'm proud of being a Mukherjee, you're proud of being a Jain. Everybody is proud of their surname. They should be, right? Because, that signifies who you are, who your, ancestors were, where you come from. It's your identity, it's your blood. So you don't really, people don't appreciate. So if somebody is giving you that badge of honor after, they're meaning it in a way that you're being accepted in that family as a part of that family. So a lot of people take it in the wrong sense these days, because when people, I think a lot of that roots from the thing that girls are not given the choice. So if you force something on somebody, then they immediately, because we as a generation are exposed to so much information everywhere. We get TV shows, we get movies, we get books, we get memes. People like you who enlighten us with so much information through Perception 101. So we are exposed to so much information. It's natural that we become that rebellious self when we are, sort of somebody propose some decision on us, like you have to do this. So it's like, no, why should I do this? I have been my independent self all this while. Just because I'm married to you doesn't mean I have to do it. But yeah, I think girls also understand and respect the fact that, are getting married to somebody, families are, getting married to each other. So it's not like your family is having to change. It's you who is entering the new family, right? So I don't think, I know a lot of people who will have problems with, like girlfriends. We've talked about the girls talk. A lot of girls have experienced issues with changing their surnames after marriage because of their own opinions. A lot of girls are not even thinking about it. They're like, "Arey, shaadi hoga, the surname to change hoga." It's that natural for them. And I think both of those people are not, wrong in their own point of view. It's very normal. So for me, I think in my opinion, I would keep my surname, but I'd also not mind taking his surname. Like it would be Roshni, Mukherjee, XYZ, whatever. So I would definitely keep my surname, because I don't want to erase my identity out of it just because I'm married. But I also respect the fact that I'm getting into his family. So I would like to respect. I don't mean to give a diplomatic answer to that, but this is genuinely my answer. Like if you ask me this question, this is what I genuinely think, because both perspectives are not wrong. Both of them are not wrong in their own way, Because one way, if you look at it, it's my identity, it's who I am. I don't want to give that up, because on my degrees and everywhere, it's that. It's Roshni Mukherjee. So I don't want to just give that up in a click of a button. And On the other hand, I do respect that I'm going into his family. Even if I like, a lot of people these days after getting married, they don't live together. Even then, like you make a new family, right? So I don't mind taking, writing his surname as well. Like I wouldn't call it taking. I would rather call it being a part of his family. So yeah.
Would you take your partner's name after getting married? If yes, why? If no, why?
I think I wouldn't take my partner's name. Neither would I expect my partner to take the name. Unless they feel like they really want to take that, it's totally their consent. I don't really think it's necessary for both of us to do that. We both have our own identities. We are born to particular families, and it's totally our choice and like my partner's choice to pick up or to not pick up. I don't think that really makes a lot of difference. Yes, it does to the family, of course. If we talk about the family, it does make a difference. But honestly, to me, it's not a compulsion for my partner to do so. So I think no, the answer would be no for me.
Well, Samarth, my answer is going to be very simple, okay? So, I believe that, again, it's a women's choice. So, they should not be compelled and, walk down to the culture and the societal norm. So, if they want to keep, they keep, okay? They should not be judged for that. And if they do not want to keep, then it's totally their choice, okay? So, they should not be judged for the parameters which the society has set for them. And as far as I am concerned, okay, I am comfortable giving both the surnames, okay. I am comfortable with my new identity and my old identity as well. So it's just on me कि मेरे को कौन सा identity ज़्यादा adapt करना है, but I'm comfortable with both the surnames.
It's a very established agenda and people have been talking about it for years. I have a very simple opinion to it. I wouldn't associate a plethora of dynamics to it. There are two of those. One being your surname helps you represent a social class, your status, where you come from. And the second being your self-identity. Now, it's very amusing to know that in India, predominantly, it's a beautiful subset of a patriarchal society. It's adopted from the Vedas, where it's stated that, very clearly it's stated, evidently it's stated, that a male person is responsible for determining sex of a child. Hence, the child should be passed on with the same surname. However, if you take my opinion, I wouldn't change my surname, not because of this pretext, because of the mere fact that I enjoy my representation with my surname associated over years. Secondly, I wouldn't ever force my partner to take up my name in sense that I wouldn't ask her to take up my surname merely because the society wants it to. However, it's ideal if she takes her surname along with mine, because I think it's a romantic gesture as well. But moreover, my family would be very conventional in this. But I think I'll need to balance it out. So factoring all those things, I think this makes sense that I wouldn't put it ahead as a forced honor. Yeah, so that's it.
So if you ask me about this, firstly, I would say that I have started to question the norms and the ideologies behind marriage. So if I do get married someday to a person, I would really like to have a big conversation about this and then come to a middle ground. उसके बाद देखते हैं क्या करना है. So the main agenda behind this video is to let you know that if you are getting married, you have a choice whether you want to take your partner's name or not. It's your choice. After all, it's your life and your name. If you want to take your partner's name, take it. If you don't, don't. Compromise करना है करो, नहीं करना है मत करो. Want to do it for your family? Go ahead. Want to do it for a romantic gesture? Go ahead. Want to do it for the sake of feminism and take a stand? Yes, do it. All I am saying that if you want to take your partner's name, whether you are from any gender, it's your goddamn choice. It's no one else's. Thank you so much, people. If you found this video informative and like the idea behind it, press that thumbs up button and share it with as many people as you can. And do not forget to press that subscribe button. It will help me grow. Ciao.